they're not like, oh my God, it'd be so awesome to see an angel. They used to make it like a mockery. And Allah says there won't be any mockery that day. They're not going to be congratulating each other and high-fiving each other for the criminals. وَيَقُولُونَ حِجْرًا مَحْجُورًا, and they'll say, please, no. Hijra mahjura has several interpretations. Hijr means rock. Also a barrier. يعني نمنعه من التصرف. If we can just, the army used to be coming, an army would be advancing towards them, and they knew that army is way stronger than themselves, so they would make a prayer, like a, you know how in basketball they say, the buzzer's about to go off, and they say, puts up a prayer. You know what that means, right? You just chucked it up and, Ya Allah. You know, and that's why he's got all those fans behind him with the giant shahada finger, going La ilaha illallah, right? Puts up a prayer. When the soldiers are coming and you know you got no way left to be saved, then you say Hijra Mahjura. It's a prayer that may God descend a giant boulder between us and them, and He keeps crushing them with these boulders so they don't even come to me. That's one meaning of it. Hijra Mahjura. Then it's used when they say, I'll read something off to you from Ash-Sha'rawi rahimahullah, يعني نمنعه من التصرف. Somehow we can prevent them from moving forward. وَقَدِيمًا كَانُوا يَقُولُونَ فِي دَفْعِ الشَّرِّ. And in the old times they used to say this phrase to get evil away from themselves. Like, please, no, don't hurt me. Hijra mahjura. Stop yourself. Hijra is a kind of prevention. By being thrown into a wrestling match, he doesn't want to be in the ring. And the big guy is just going to, he's going to snap you like a twig. And he's coming at the little guy, and the little guy, right before he gets crushed, he goes, that's Hijra Mahjura. Come on, please, no. And then, it's over. Okay? وَيَقُولُونَ, and that, all the arrogance is gone. You know, the last translation I'll give you of Hijra Mahjura, please stop, please, stop, please. That's Hijra Mahjura. The same people that were so arrogant. Can't we just see God? Can God just come and talk to me? Same guy. وَقَدِمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ. This is the third time this concept is coming in the Qur'an. I'll translate the ayah first, and then I'll share with you how this works. And we will come to whatever they had done. I try to give you examples that you can relate to. You ever see a science fair? The judges come, and they walk over to your display, and they kind of look at it. قَدِمُوا إِلَى مَا عَمِلْتُم مِّنْ عَمَلٍ. قَدِمَ إِلَى مَا عَمِلْتَ مِنْ عَمَلٍ. He came to whatever you had done to observe it, to see, okay, so what's the quality, and take some notes. What's it worth? Evaluate it. People, you're trying to sell gold, and the appraiser comes and he looks at your, somebody, the real estate agent or the buyer comes to your house and checks it out, how much you're selling for. Somebody's buying your car. قَدِمَ إِلَى سَيَّارَتِكَ. He came to your car to check it out. But if you have made something, like a buyer, a seller manufactures something, he builds things, you go to it, and then you look at what he's made. You can check it out. Like when people make pottery, it's work. It's literally his work sitting on the table. It's not just a piece of thing, it's his work. So they go to it, and the customer walks over to it, and he picks it up, and he says, okay, so this is a little bulge, a little bulge over here, it's a little uneven over there, and kind of looks at it, and goes, oh, okay, no thanks. Right? Or gives it a value. Okay, I'll give you 5 for it. I'll give you 2 for it. Whatever. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, we ourselves will come as the evaluator of whatever they had done. قَدِمْنَا, literally will take steps to what they had done. For any deed they had done. فَجَعَلْنَاهُ, and every single one of those deeds, we will turn it into هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. We will turn it into scattered dust. Tiny particles of dust that the wind blows. When you're looking out a window on a sunny day, you can notice those tiny little fiber thingies that you try to catch if you're weird. Right? That's haba. And manthur is it's spread in every direction. And manthur literally means when something just goes in every direction as a result of a jerk. Like you know how you do your sheets? You jerk the sheets and the dust flies? That's manthur. Haba and manthur. Or blowing your nose also when the stuff comes out. That's also manthur. Literally. Or intathar. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, you have your deeds. This believer did some good deeds too. This guy had done some good deeds. The same guy who said, how come God doesn't come? He also helped out at a blood drive. He also donated. He also ran for cancer. He has one of those pink things. So he's got a pile of those good deeds. And Allah comes to appraise them. And every single deed. لم يقل هنا وقدمنا إلى أعمالهم فجعلناها قدمنا إلى ما عملوا من عمل. Any deed they had done, any good, at some point in their life, everybody does something good. And Allah will pick every one of those things out and say, this is worth, scattered dust. That's all it's worth. This is the third time this idea is mentioned. The first two times it's mentioned as a parable, as a comparison. The third time it's mentioned, this is the third time it's literal. The first time it was mentioned was in Surah Ibrahim. كَرَمَادٍ اشْتَدَّتْ بِهِ الرِّيحِ. It's like ash that the wind blows away. Their deeds on Judgment Day, the deeds of disbelievers, are like ash that the wind blows away. Ash itself is worthless. Now the wind blows away, you can't even get it back. The second time we saw it in the previous surah, Surah Al-Nur. We saw the guy shows up, thinks it's a mirage. يَحْسَبُهُ الظَّمْآنُ مَاءً. He thinks that the thirsty one thinks the mirage is water. And he gets there and he finds nothing. That was still a parable. The third time around, literally on Judgment Day, if those two times didn't work for you, let me spell it out for you like it is. All of the things you think you've done that are good, because people think they're good. They don't need faith, they think they're good. And they say, I'm a good person, I don't need faith to be good. I'm good on my own merits. Allah says, let me tell you how much that's worth, that good that you think you are. هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. Scattered dust. The farther we get from the Qur'an, the more we'll start having doubts. The more we'll start thinking about, what about all those other people? How are we supposed to think about them? And these ayat don't mean you go around telling people that their deeds aren't worth anything. خَيْرُكُمْ فِي الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ خَيْرُكُمْ فِي الْإِسْلَامِ. The best of you in Jahiliyyah are the best people in Islam. Those same people, those good deeds, Allah really, removes all the bad deeds, but keeps all the good that you've done and multiplies it on top of that if you become Muslim. And we're not here to judge where people are going on Judgment Day. Allah is there to do that. We don't do the judging. We share the word of Allah so people can do the judging for themselves and can know that Allah has passed a verdict. So there's a difference between me talking to somebody and Allah talking to someone. The Prophet ﷺ is the nicest person. You've read this so many times. He's the nicest person. Can you imagine the nicest person going around saying this to somebody? Because it's not him talking. It's Allah talking. Allah is telling him, say this really harsh thing. And we cannot